Welcome everyone. This is my honest opinion of Big Brother, episode 11. This is where they had the eviction time of the three contestants. And on this one, it was really good. And I did watch, see a little, there's always a little tension in the Big Brother house. And one of the guests, Mickey, the little lady that's got the blonde braids, she was questioning her friend Morgan because Morgan is trying to bring in Zach and Vinny on their two-person alliance, and she thought it was just going to be us. Well, she's not fond of Zach and Vinny, so she questions why she's trying to, she's just not sure about bringing them in on their little get together. And then she realized, I think Morgan has got a affiliation with those two that she didn't know about, so that kind of upset her. And come to find out that I hope I'm saying his name right, Zach is trying to divide Mickey and Morgan. So he sees that they're close together and been whispering together. So he steps in to kind of put doubt in her mind, and then tells Morgan that Mickey told someone else about their personal conversation, and now Morgan is not feeling as trustworthy as she was before. So there's a little tension in the duo that is being edged on by Zach. All right, and then they had the competition. The competition was called Study the Study. And this was a good competition, but it was not for the audience to really try to participate in or get more emotionally involved in, because it really overlooked us and became something that they had to do. Well, what the study meant was that there were two rooms, and they had to look at each room and decide if what they saw didn't match one other room. This was pretty good. That's a pretty good contest. I wish we just had a little bit more participation for the audience, but all we could do is just watch them go from one room to the other room and back and forward again, and see the differences between the two rooms. Well, Kelly, Will, and Adrian did that, and once again, Kelly proved her ability to win, because she won. She won so fast that I just can't believe she won that fast. You had to pick out how many things that you saw. Well, the total was actually 8. Well, Kelly did what she did in the last couple of contests. She went and looked at both of them and went back and forward and came back before anybody else and put her hands on her hip, hit the button, and the button number she picked was 7. There were 7 differences she saw. And Adrian had like 11 differences, and Will put the number of 16. I don't know what Will saw, but it was so off that I know it's a puzzle like that, a contest like that. I think you can make a mistake like that. But yeah, he was way off. Adrian was closer to Kelly, and when they announced it, it was Kelly. she got off the block again. So they came in and they had to decide. They had to whisper to each other and talk to each other, and they had to decide. And then the House had to decide who they were going to vote out. And the strange thing is that they all thought that Kelly was going to win. Even I thought Kelly was going to win because they didn't see the type of competition she had, but they know for some reason, she's really adept at doing things in those contests. So they had said who they were going to vote for, and I think they were trying to vote to get a tie so that Lauren would have to break the tie. But it didn't work out that way. So they all went and voted. And I had made a prediction that Will was going to lose because of the old person factor in Big Brother. And so when they voted, it was surprising that of the ones that did vote for him, and it wasn't too surprising about the ones that didn't vote for him, but it was still revealed a lot. Too bad they can't see exactly who made those votes. But after the votes, it takes them a while to figure out who voted which way. But when all the pieces were lined up and put together, I was saying Will was going to lose, and I was totally wrong and happy about it. I wrote it down. Will loses, and then once I figured out that Will won, I had put on here, Will loses not. And then Adrian left because, he was the one that they picked. Now, my opinion about Adrian, going from the fact that I watch just the Big Brother shows. I don't peep in on them. But I do remember a thumbnail I saw talking about Adrian and what he was saying. I didn't look at the video because I didn't want to know, but they were saying that Adrian is to be watched out for because something that they found they didn't like. So I don't know what was on those live feeds that alerted them to Adrian, to making the video putting Adrian's face on it. Well, once Adrian lost, they all got big hugs and things, and I was so glad to see Will win. That doesn't mean he's not going to be up on the block again because, like I said, the old people are always the target. I'm surprised they resisted that. It looked like he was not going to make it at the beginning because, like I said, usually that's a Big Brother tradition to knock out the old people. But anyway, once he got out and had a conversation with Julie, I was totally surprised at the way Adrian actually talks. It was just a bunch of S to the T conversation with Julie, and he was laid back and upset and adrenaline rolling, and I heard him talk for the first time. I mean, usually he says a little bit here and there, but he really was a trash talker. And I can tell Julie kind of like, oh Lord, what is he gonna say? But he kept it halfway decent, but it's the way he talked. He just leaned over and his real personality came out. And it was not, to me, it wasn't good. And I could see now why they didn't try to do a split vote to have Lauren break it, because I think majority of them just wanted Adrian out, even though we see on the TV shows that he's really quiet. He shows he's quiet, but when he got laid back and excited on the show with Julie, the way he spoke was really irritating. And I was like, wow, I see why they voted him out. Because he basically he said a bunch, you have to see it to see how he talks. And if you're not watching the feeds, you'd be surprised like I was. Because I had never heard him talk more than a few words, 1 or 2 words. This is the first time he said sentences together that I had never seen him just get comfortable and talk. But that's what he did with Julie, and Julie was sitting up there like, okay, we're going to a commercial here now. Julie's like, let's see if we can just roll this in real quick. Well, I was glad that Will stayed. I'm happy for Kelly, but when Kelly was voted out, she got a chance to vote, and I was just kind of surprised that she didn't vote for Will. So that could kind of put a notch on my belt of not really being that close to Kelly. I totally respect her. Her game is really, truly good, and she has confidence to put herself up there on the block. She volunteered. And so this is the second time. I don't think it's the second time, second or third time. She asked to put herself up there. And so you have to give her a little credit for that. And you have to give her credit that everybody counted on her winning, even though they didn't know what the contest was. So it was an 8-4 vote. 8 people voted for Will. 4 people voted for Adrian. And I had come to the conclusion that Will is making an impression on some of those young people in the house. So props up to him. Whether he'll make it to the end, every time he gets up on that stage for eviction, I'm always saying he's not going to make it. But thank goodness he did. And his allies did help him. Ashley, Rachel, and Mickey. So he's got some strong allies in there. And he's not really running with anybody that I can tell. He agrees with things that people say, but he's not making any alliances and that I can see that stand out. Well, that was the Big Brother episode 11. It was great. And I went and got my hair cut today. And because I was getting to that point, well, my hair is starting to stick out. And and I call it, I was moving into my Rick and Morty phase where I start to look like Rick with the hair standing out on the side. So I got my barber to cut that stuff down, and I said, let me get on here and make a video and talk about our show. Well, please remember to subscribe and like, and hope you have a good day. I'll be back with other things because this is the weekend episode until Sunday. So I'll be putting up videos for other things. I'm surprised that I made another video because usually sometimes I just don't have the energy to want to participate. So but I do enjoy making these videos, and I'll settle down to something, find a good niche and everything. But right now my niche is Big Brother, even though it's not as lucrative as other niches that I see other people doing. And I made up my mind, no more Dante London videos. It's just too much. I've watched too many reviews of him, and it's just messing up my algorithm. You have to watch what you watch on YouTube because your algorithm will get messed up. I think they changed that algorithm so you end up seeing a lot of the stuff that you don't really want to see a lot of because you watch one video, and that algorithm will keep pushing it. So a lot of times I look at, I usually look at my iPad on them, and I like to watch it there because all you can do, it will go back to where you originally went to. Well, anyway, it works better for me on the iPad, but I do watch a lot on the PC. So, well, anyway, for all the Big Brother fans, I hope you have a good day and see you on the next go round.